Have you ever wondered why you still cannot speak English? You've been learning English for a while, you can mostly understand English, but you cannot really speak it. Why? This question will be answered in this video because today I'm going to share with you 5 big reasons why you cannot speak English. Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Asim. I'm a polyglot. On this channel, we help English learners speak English fluently and confidently. So let's get started. The first reason why you still cannot speak English is because you're focusing too much on grammar. Grammar is taking up too much of your time. You don't need grammar to speak English fluently. I know a lot of people, like some of my friends and one of my cousins, actually learned and became fluent in English without ever memorizing a single grammar rule. I'm not saying learning grammar is completely useless. Grammar can be useful in many situations, like if you want to become a teacher, English teacher, then you need to learn grammar. Or if you take an exam that requires you to learn grammar, then of course learn grammar. But if you just want to speak English fluently, have fluent conversations in English, don't study grammar at all. Especially when you are a beginner. When you're in those early stages of learning English, don't study grammar. Grammar will waste a lot of your time. It's not worth it. And also you will learn grammar naturally, like if you consume English a lot, if you watch a lot of English movies and TV series, you will get this sense of which sentence is correct and which one is wrong. And that's enough for your fluency. I have few friends in the United States. They don't know what an adverb is, they don't know what a pronoun is, what a noun is, but they can speak English fluently. They don't know any grammar rules, and that's because they learn grammar naturally. They learn grammar by consuming English, by growing up in the environment of English, and that's what you have to do as well in the beginning. The second reason why you can't speak English is because you don't do listening. Listening is hands down the most important activity you can do to improve your English. You will not be able to come up with sentences when you're speaking if you don't listen. A lot of my friends and students ask me this question. Asim, my mind goes blank when I speak in English. I just don't know what to say, I forget what to say. And they think it's a vocabulary problem. There's not a vocabulary problem. The reason you freeze and the reason your mind goes blank when you're speaking is not because you don't know enough words. It's because you don't do enough listening. When you're listening, your brain is consuming English. Your brain is picking up words and sentences that you can later on use in your speaking. So if you don't listen, your speaking will not be fluent. Now the question is, what do you listen to? I have two things to say here. First, listen to something that's appropriate for your level. So if you're a beginner and you watch English movies and then you say, oh, I do not understand. No wonder you don't understand. You're doing something, you're listening to something that's for advanced learners. So if you're a beginner, watch easy stuff. Listen to something that's easy to understand, like YouTube videos with subtitles or cartoons. Those are pretty easy to understand as well. So listen to something that's appropriate for your level. And second, listen to something that you enjoy listening to. Don't listen to the radio if you think it's boring, if you think it's not for you. There are other ways you can improve your listening skills. There are other things you can listen to. The third reason why you cannot speak English is because you have fear of mistakes. Fear will always hold you back from having conversations in English. If you're too afraid to even try to have a conversation, then your English will not improve. Why do we have this fear? We actually don't fear the mistakes. We fear what other people will think of us when we make mistakes. And that's because of something called the spotlight effect in psychology. So the spotlight effect is this idea that in life we think that the spotlight is on us. The focus is on us. Everybody is watching our moves. Everybody is noticing all of our activities and moves. And this applies to learning English as well. When we are learning English, when we are speaking in front of somebody, we think that they're paying close attention to every detail, every mistake, every pronunciation mistake or everything. No, they're actually worried about their own mistakes, because in life everybody has a spotlight on them. Everybody's thinking about their own problems. They don't care about your mistakes. The only thing the other person cares about in a conversation is the message that you're trying to give. So when you're speaking, don't be afraid, just speak. And the way you get over this fear of mistakes is by practicing a lot. The more you practice, the less you will become afraid. And that brings us to the fourth reason why you cannot speak English, is because you don't practice. practice. Your mistakes will not improve. You will forget the vocabulary you've learned, and your fluency will get worse if you don't practice. A lot of my students ask me this question: Asim, where do I practice? I have a video called 20 plus free resources I use to become fluent in English. You can watch this video, and in that video I recommended a lot of apps and websites where you can practice basically for free. You don't have to pay for anything. Those are all free resources. But for starters, for beginners, I would recommend talk with yourself. Sit in front of a mirror, choose a topic and talk with yourself for 10 to 15 minutes, and that's going to be enough for the first few months if you're a beginner. But once you get to a good level, you can make some friends on social platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and you can talk with them. The fifth reason why you cannot speak English is because of something called perfectionism. Perfectionist people are always looking for the right time, for the perfect opportunity. It's just another form of laziness. So stop waiting for the right time, for the right opportunity. Stop being a perfectionist and take action. If I acted like a perfectionist, I would have never started this YouTube channel. I would have never started learning English, because I would wait for a perfect teacher to teach me English, or I would think to myself, okay, I will start learning English when I go to the United States, or I will start learning English when I have a proper teacher, or I go to a proper school. Those were all ideas that could hold me back, but I did not listen to those ideas. I just executed. I just started learning on my own. Start before you think you're ready. Don't worry about the results. Just practice, listen, improve, get better, get feedback, improve your mistakes, and become fluent. Now, those were 5 reasons why you cannot speak English. If you want a detailed step-by-step tutorial on how I became fluent in English and how you can become fluent in English, then you can watch my last video. Really follow those steps and you will become fluent in English in the next 6 months, I promise. Okay, I hope you've learned something from this video. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.